This is Boston Jimmie here with Stogie Press. And I have the pleasure of sitting here today with Felix Paredes. He is the owner-proprietor of the Harlem Cigar Lounge here in New York City, just a few blocks away from Columbia University. You're in an area, Felix, that when I grew up, long time ago, in the 1970s, we didn't venture through. This whole area has rejuvenated.
Yep.
You have owned this lounge for how long?
I owned the lounge now for 2.5 years.
So, how did you come to own a lounge here in Harlem?
So, it was an existing establishment. I used to call Papa Juan before, and I used to be a regular member. And the opportunity, it was just being in the right place at the right time. The opportunity came about where the store was available to be purchased, and I made an offer and I got it. And did some renovation, changed the name. I thought that I actually Googled, find out that Harlem was available. The name Harlem, I was like, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's a great marketing name right now. And obviously purchased the domain, and here we are. You know, made renovation, made it a bigger place and more sophisticated, a little bit more upscale than what it used to be. And yeah, it's a nice place in Harlem.
So your demographic here, how would you describe your demographic?
Melting pot. I mean, we have here everything from Black, Latino, Jewish, Italian, Asian, you name it. And my members will show you that. Like, I have a little bit of everything, and my crowd will show you that. It's not one demographic, it's a melting pot. Typical New York City.
Typical New York City, absolutely. I can attest to that looking at your clientele tonight on a beautiful Saturday night here in Manhattan. You have also a kind of a restaurant bar next door. How'd that come about?
The next door used to be a Mexican place, right? One of those Mexican bars where people will go in and just play pool and drink beer, and it became available. And I started to think to myself, I'm like, wine, cigars, kind of married together. I said, plus I'll have the entire corner. I said, let me venture, let me try it. And we opened up 6 weeks ago. May 24th when we first opened the wine room. It's called Harlem Wine Room. And the idea was to make again an upscale, middle class place where after you come from work, you can come and have a cigar and have a glass of wine next door.
So you have, we were talking earlier, you have about 250 facings.
Yeah, 268 facings in my humidor.
268 facings in your humidor. What would you consider the percentage between boutique, small brand, and large brand?
I would say 70% of my cigars are boutique cigars.
70%?
Yeah.
And what is your #1 selling boutique cigar?
DBL.
DBL.
DBL cigars.
Wearing a DBL hat. Actually, Francisco came in to visit us tonight.
Absolutely.
He knew I was in town.
Yeah.
We got to meet each other. Funny story, right? We got to meet each other on a DBL trip earlier in the year.
Absolutely.
Right?
In March.
Dominican.
In March, yeah.
Right? And it was a beautiful trip. We had a great time.
Yeah.
And you are of Dominican descent?
I am.
There you go. So, Dominican owner in Harlem, owning a cigar lounge, has really started to take off.
Yes. I tell you, Francisco was talking about this before. When I took over, people thought that the idea that I brought in was crazy and that I wasn't going to be successful. And to me, a cigar lounge is supposed to be a place where you come and relax, have a conversation, watch TV, have a drink, have a coffee. Not to be talked over music that is so loud that you can have a conversation. So it's growing and growing and growing. I mean, without diving into the numbers, we pretty much have doubled sales. Wow! Every year. So doing well.
Now, being Dominican and being in a cigar business, when did you first start smoking cigars?
Woo! I started at the age of 14.
14 in
yeah,
Dominican.
in the Dominican Republic. In Tamboril, Dominican
Tamboril. Did you work with any cigar companies there when you were younger, or
No.
what did you do in the Dominican?
I didn't work, but my grandparents lived right behind La Flor Dominicana. The house is literally right behind it. And so every time I went to visit, I had to go by Leon Jimenez, and the smell of the tobacco, which is always the aroma, that got me into it. And then being behind La Flor Dominicana, I was just always crazy trying to taste it. And my parents were like, you're too young, you're too young. Eventually, at the age of 14, my uncle was like, under the table here, have this one. And I remember trying a small petite Corona that they had, Connecticut, and fall in love with cigar ever since.
Now, did you know Francisco back then?
No.
How did you meet Francisco?
So I met Francisco here at this establishment when I used to be Papa One, and I was just a regular customer. And Francisco was trying to make his brand, establish his brand. And so he used to come often and do events, and he liked the feedback I always give him about the cigar. So every time he was coming out with a cigar, he'll give me one and say, Felix, I want you to try this, and I want your honest opinion. And we became real friends like that. And obviously when I took over, he supported me 100%, and to this day he is my #1 supporter.
So a little personal thing. Favorite baseball team?
Ooh, so I am a die-hard Braves fan.
Oh.
But then I also love Boston. Yes, in New York, Boston. I love the Boston Red Sox. And you know, like every Dominican, it has a lot to do with David Ortiz, with Pedro Martinez, with Manny Ramirez. And so that's the reason that I follow that team. And yeah, they're not there anymore. But yeah, you still have guys like Devers, you still have, you start liking a team, you just don't stop liking them. So, you know, I'm a Boston fan as well.
Now, you were telling me earlier that this is not your only job.
No.
So you run these 2 establishments, but you are, by career, you're a sales guy.
Yep, so I work for Jacqueline's Beef Jerky.
Jacqueline's Beef Jerky.
Yeah.
You hear that, all my Southern fans?
Jacqueline's Beef Jerky. So that's my #1 job. That's what pays the bills. That's where my energy is 90% of the time. So I do that every day. I cover the entire Northeast. I go out west as far as Pittsburgh. So, you know, whenever I finish that, then I come here, I stop by, make sure the business is running right. I mingle with my customers, and I go home and do the same thing all over again.
So, last question. I've asked this to all the retailers. So we all know now that the IPCPCR, our trade association, has rebranded themselves to PCA, and of course I'm all for the rebranding. I think they did the right thing with the name and the recognition we're trying to get out of it.
Yep.
But the second half of that is this thing called Cigar Con, a consumer event.
Yep.
First day of the show next year. What is your opinion on Consumer Con and maybe bringing your consumers to a show to help you influence your buying?
I think it's a great idea, because a lot of times we tend to forget what makes this happen. This doesn't happen without the consumer, right? And it's a great experience for the consumer. We get them to educate them. Aside from doing it here on site at the establishment, they get to see a broader version. They get to see thousands of cigars. They get to see different companies, what different cultures do. I just think it's a great idea. I think it's a really great idea. It gives people an option to, hey, get out of town, do something different, but at the same time do what I love, smoking. And you know what, enjoy myself, learn about cigars even more. This is it's something that we do that a lot of people just smoke and throw smoke, and very few people take the time to dive into what really smoking a cigar is, and the history and what goes behind building a cigar. I mean, once you dive into what goes into creating a cigar, you start to get these love for that. It's I don't know how to describe it, because the amount of hands and touch things before we can smoke, and the process, and the process that goes through it, it's unbelievable. And to me, it's a unique thing, which again goes back to the wine room. Same thing with wine, right?
Yes.
The process to create wine and the process to create cigar is very similar. The whole thing is so similar, they marry together, right? So different grapes gives you different wine, different cigar wrap, different tobacco flavor, and so to me, it's just it's a unique thing.
Felix, thank you very much for taking the time. A terrific host. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you for coming.
We've been here for hours, enjoying our time together. In the second video you'll see, right below this one, you'll see the walkthrough I did on this lounge. It's a beautiful old building, as you would expect in New York. Appreciate it. If you want to come and you're visiting New York or you live in New York, come visit the Harlem Cigar Lounge, and you will absolutely fall in love with it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy.